Everybody knows about the splendid bonuses that are given to young athletes, and I would like you to read to you the first contract signed by my next guest when he joined organized baseball. If you can cut to that. This agreement entered into this day, July 22nd, 1935, by and between the Fargo Baseball Club and Robert Feller and his legal guardian, W.A. Feller, agreed to as follows. The Fargo Club agrees to pay Robert Feller or his legal guardian $500 if he is retained on the roster of the Fargo Baseball Club on September 15th, 1936. The Fargo Club, were you born in 36? No, not even around. The Fargo Club agrees to allow Robert Feller to visit his folks at any time during the 1936 season, also to invite Robert Feller's folks to visit him at Fargo during the summer of 1936 at the expense of the Fargo Baseball Club. Fargo Club has no objection to Robert Feller playing basketball at any time. For a consideration of $1 paid to Robert Feller, this agreement is declared valid. Signed, C.C. Slapnicka, representing Fargo Club, Robert Feller, player, and W.A. Feller, legal guardian. We welcome, please, the best $1 bonus pitcher in the history of baseball, Bob Feller. Why, if you'd had my manager, you'd have held out for a $5 bonus, or at least.
Well, we didn't have many business managers in those days, and I thought pitching professional ball beats pitching hay on the farm in Iowa.
Which is where you were, it would have been otherwise.
Well, I had no intention of working for a living. I always wanted to be a ball player.
Yeah. What about, which Fargo was that? We should clear that up for people.
Fargo, North Dakota.
It was the Fargo.
Fargo, Moorhead. They played the games in Moorhead, Minnesota. In the 36th year I joined, they built a ballpark in Fargo, and I never did make Fargo.
Never made it?
Never played minor league ball, Dick. I hurt my arm in high school. I pitched 5 games in 8 days, 9 innings too, incidentally, in the state tournament, and my arm was a little tired, so when school was out, I didn't go there. I went back to Cleveland, had the trainer work on my arm. Got rested up, and instead of going to Fargo, I pitched an exhibition game against the Cardinals, and was a little lucky. They didn't get close enough to the plate to take a swing, and I struck out 8 out of 9, and the Cleveland Ball Club put me right on the roster. I joined the Cleveland Ball Club. I'd never been on a train before in my life. They had to show me how to get in. I thought that sling between the windows, that green thing, to put my arm in.
Oh, no.
In the palm.
The thing that you hang stuff in?
Yeah, but you're shaving, getting your underwear and all that, you know. And I'd never been on a train before. I went to Philadelphia and joined the team and finished up games that were lost, and which were plenty of them in those days for Cleveland, again. And I finally started a ball game, and that was the year they had the famous 40-cent infield in Cleveland. We had 6 300 hitters on the ball club that year, and we were in 5th place in an 8-club league. Yeah. Of course, nowadays, Vida, if you have 6 300 hitters on the ball club, you get the pennant race all tied up and won by Mother's Day.
Yes, indeed. I saw him wince when you said hurt my arm. I don't even know if you knew it, but he did a slight wince.
Didn't really hurt it, just tired, I guess. And I was a little nervous because I knew that my arm was my bread and butter, and the club was a little nervous too. After they get me for a buck, they didn't have much invested, though they probably figured they had not much to lose.
Is it true you used to wrap your arm in something?
Oh yes, I never did particularly like air conditioning in the trains and so forth, so my mother cut off a piece of medium weight underwear and cut the sleeve out and basted it around the edge and put a drawstring. So on the trains and in cool weather in the spring and the fall, I always wore that under my regular shirt, and it kept my arm warm after the ball games, and I still have it. It's full of moth holes, and I still have this.
It's underwear for an arm.
Yeah, it's just kept my arm warm, and yeah, underwear for an arm. And
did anyone ever find it and wonder what it could be? I mean,
no, I still have it. I don't think I ever lost it. Maybe
you do have
I probably washed it once in a while.
Yeah.
But
you had an interest. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if it helped my arm any or not. My mother used to send me these vitamins all the time, and I'd have so many good years. I knew they weren't helping me any, those pills and this food supplement, but I was afraid to quit. So one year I had a bad year, I quit eating it, and I had a great year, so I figured it hadn't helped me at all.
So, do you have any advice for him, really? I mean, a guy with in the spotlight the way he is and all, and this early in a career.
He's doing a pretty good job of handling himself. I just say that as far as the pressures go, and I know what he's putting up with as a young fella, I had Wally Shang used to room with me, used to catch in the Yankees when Babe Ruth was in his prime, but Wally used to kind of be the buffer around me, and I just say the word no is pretty important to you about now. You know, not just the word N-O is pretty important, stick with it.
What do you mean that, the word no?
Oh, I mean about getting involved in outside activities like we all do. I did it, things that are fluff and don't build any income or forgetting your objective. I did this thing back in 46 and 7 maybe, and got involved in autograph parties and running in different types of promotions, and you kind of forget where you keep your eye on the ball. But
Did
all
women
athletes
throw themselves at your feet?
Not particularly. No, I wasn't that handsome. I didn't pay that much attention at the time. My baseball career was more important. And after I got my baseball career pretty well underway, they had Pearl Harbor. And I spent 4 years in the Navy, right in the height of my career. In fact, I signed up with Gene Tunney in Chicago at the courthouse the day after Pearl Harbor.
That must have been depressing, the thought that 4 years might ruin your career.
I didn't give it much of a thought. My father was dying of cancer, and I was exempted, but I had to go. I knew that, after all, here I am, rather sports being important in this country, and my mother cried crocodile tears. Of course, my parents have been both dead for years. My father died shortly thereafter, and I'm in the Navy. I had a good tour of duty in the Navy. We won the war. I didn't get hurt. I have no complaints at all. I enjoyed baseball, enjoyed the fans, and making a lot of friends around the United States. In fact, I was in Albuquerque last night doing a promotion the night before in Memphis. I work for Sheraton Hotel chain, and we do a lot of promotions around the United States and Honolulu and all over. You stay in our hotel in Cleveland. In case you don't know it, that is one of our hotels.
Nice hotel.
Thank you.
Who was the... no collect calls. Who was the toughest... who was the toughest guy you pitched to? Is that,
Tommy Henrik, Dick. Tommy Henrik of the Yankees, a great right fielder who's now working for Timken in Canton, Ohio, doing radio and TV, incidentally.
Is it true? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he could hit me with his eyes closed at midnight and the lights out. He could really hit me. DiMaggio was the toughest right-hand hitter.
Yeah.
He could hit me very well.
What about Leo DeRocher?
Leo was the first major league hitter I ever pitched against in this contest in Cleveland, this exhibition game, and umpire-in-chief was behind the plate was Cal Hubbard, who was a great All-American footballer, and Cal was behind the plate. The first pitch I made to DeRocher was over his head into the press box. I was a little wild, you know.
Yeah, a little wild.
First time I ever stepped on a mound. I didn't know how to step off a mound. I've been pitching on a flat area out in Iowa. You know, you're from Nebraska.
It went into the press box?
It went up over his head into the little press box in League Park. The next pitch was better, except it was behind him. and their manager and catcher was Steve O'Neill, who was catching me to keep me calm. He didn't know my name. He called me Fellows. And Frankie Frisch saw me warming up in the bullpen and took himself out of the lineup before he even came to bat. But well, I still hold the American League record for the most bases on balls in 1 year. It's the only thing that Koufax hasn't broken.
He's after that. Is it true about DeRocher and getting two strikes?
Oh, yeah. So the next two pitches, O'Neill said to DeRocher's kid, he said, Leo, this kid might stick the next one in your ear. So when he said that, he stepped back about 3 feet. I threw 2 strikes, and Leo went behind in the clubhouse, towards the clubhouse in the dugout, and hid behind the water cooler. And he said, hey, kid, you can't hit me here. Hubbard said, Leo, get back here. He said, you got another strike coming. And he says, hell with you, Hubbard, you take it for me.
He gave up his third strike?
In fact, that article's in Reader Digest.
That's
this
sportsmanship.
week. Yeah.
That's great.
Leo's a great guy.
Yeah.